Good morning, or good afternoon, excuse me. Welcome to this special meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. I'll call it to order, and can we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioner Scarpetian?
Here.
Khan?
Here.
Patrick?
Here.
Sharkey? Here. President Rockfogle?
Here.
The agenda for the January 25th, 2012 meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on Thursday, January 19th, 2012. Item 2A, under Introductions and Presentations, presentation by Path Ventures.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome.
My name is Gabrielle Lurie. Hello, good afternoon. Hi. My name is Gabrielle Waring. I'm a Program and Services Coordinator for the Glendale Housing Now program, and I'll explain to you all what that is. Into the mic, please. So I am from Path Ventures, and our housing is our mission. Path Ventures was created as a separate nonprofit in 2006 by the Path Board. Path is People Assisting the Homeless. They have a long reputation of providing homeless services in the California, Los Angeles area. Our mission is to improve individual lives and communities by increasing quality, affordable housing and creating opportunities for economic, civic, and personal empowerment. Path Ventures aims to end and prevent homelessness by integrating supportive services with immediate, transitional, and permanent housing. Our housing responds to the unique needs of the formerly homeless in Greater Los Angeles. We provide services along with housing because as part of helping people to maintain their housing, supportive services are necessary. Services include case management, health and dental care, mental health care, after-school tutoring, employment services, life skills workshops, substance abuse treatment, self-help support groups, and other services. Services are designed according to the residents' needs and are continually evaluated and adapted to reflect the changing needs of the tenant population. Our two housing models that we use are Housing Now and Villas. Path Ventures Housing Now programs provide immediate entry into rental housing for homeless and low-income people. Path Ventures leases apartment units from independent apartment owners and then sublets these apartments to clients who pay no more than 30% of their annual income towards rent. This is a vital way that communities like yours can immediately address the issues of homelessness. We actually have a Housing Now program in Glendale, which is part of the reason I'm here. We have it's a supportive housing program. The program began in 2006. We currently serve 13 chronically homeless and disabled clients. Our program is funded through an SHP HUD grant through the Glendale Continuum of Care. We receive a set amount that covers about 80% of the program's cost. Our remaining funds come from Glendale CDBG, thank you, and fundraising. Clients are given supportive services to help them succeed. The goals of our program are basically achieve and maintain residential stability, increase skills and or income, obtain greater self-determination. So achieving and maintaining residential stability, that can be something as helping clients stick to their lease agreement, including maintaining their apartments and following the rules of the building. We do have 2 case managers assigned for our 13 clients in this program. Case managers work with clients to develop skills to be a good tenant and live peacefully in the community. Those can be something as simple as talking to your landlord, making sure you report any repairs that your apartment needs, and dealing with conflicts with your neighbors. Skills that I think we all take for granted, but if you're coming from 20 years of homelessness, it's a big push to get back into living in the community. Increase income and skills, money matters. Clients are assisted with budgeting and managing finances. Clients are encouraged to save in our program. Clients are assisted in increasing their income, applying for mainstream benefits, seeing things like SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and employment. Participating in classes to increase their skills. We also offer education programs as part of our program to help individuals in our program increase their skills to lead to further employment and part-time work. Greater self-sufficiency. It begins with a simple question, what do you want? For our clients, a lot of them have had at least 5 years of homelessness, have been on the streets, have had a kind of rough beginning, and we're bringing them to a point where they have stable housing. Now that might seem like a small thing, but for you, if you don't have to worry about where you're going to sleep that night, you have enough, you have some income so that you can get food, it really we can bring out that question, what do you want for the rest of your life? It's not about just surviving day to day, it's about thriving in our permanent supportive housing program and moving forward. So we also bring in any mental health support. A lot of our clients, we serve chronically homeless clients, a lot of them do have mental health issues, substance abuse issues, and other barriers to maintaining housing. And then it's just really about their personal goals. What do they want out of their lives? Because we can't help anyone, it can't go off my goals. It has to be what do you want and what do you see for your life? Our clients have many challenges: mental illness, physical disability, long occurrences of homelessness, limited income, and then complying with case management. That might seem like a small thing, but for even a client of ours who we started outreaching with her 2 years ago on a park bench, and eventually we got her to move into housing. She was a little resistant to case management, and eventually after we communicated with her through letters, and eventually after some time, she is willing to meet with a case manager 2 times a week. There was kind of a little limbo period where she wasn't going to pass her annual inspection so that she can remain housed. She worked with us and passed that. So it's really the small kind of celebrations that people are willing to work with us to maintain their housing and move forward with their lives. So partnerships in the Glendale community, we work with Essentia, Verdugo Job Center, the City of Glendale, Glendale Police Department, Glendale Parks and Services. We work a lot with the Adult Recreation Center. We have a lot of activities there to work with our clients on classes and life skills. Glendale Community College and D.D. Hirsch for mental health support. So also as part of, we are a service provider, but we also, Path Ventures was created to do affordable housing. That is the main goal, and services as part of that is supportive housing. So we build permanent supportive housing, which provides intensive on-site supportive services to ensure that residents retain their housing and address other obstacles to independent living, such as mental illness, substance abuse, and employment. We have a goal when we started of 1,000 affordable housing units by 2015, and we are well on our way. Our affordable housing developments incorporate, basically we have people who are homeless, people with special needs living with people who just need affordable housing. So it's kind of a community approach that we're helping people to get back to a point where they can live in the community. Villas are residential developments for diverse populations of people in need that provide permanent affordable housing. So currently, our current affordable housing developments are Villas at Gower, which provides 70 units for formerly homeless individuals, families, and transitions-age youth. Lacrette's Villas, which these two actually just opened this year, about a month ago. So Lacrette's Villas is 49 units to serve individuals, 35 units to serve as permanent supportive and affordable housing. We have Bonnie Bray, which is 92 units for seniors, and 73 of those units are permanent supportive housing for homeless seniors. And then we have Osage Villas, which are 20 units that serve low-income homeless families and individuals. And our future kind of developments, we have a NoHo Senior Villa, a Connections Housing in downtown San Diego, which will be a 14-story building, which is 150-bed transitional housing and 75 units of permanent supportive housing. And in the works, one that greatly appeals to you here in Glendale is our Villas at Maryland, which would provide 21 units of affordable housing for veterans in the Glendale community. Anybody have any questions?
The villas on Maryland, it's Maryland and what is that?
I just think
Maryland and Glendale.
Oh, Glendale?
Maryland and Glendale, yes. You have in your packet there, you have a kind of a project summary of that project and a map of the proposed project.
In any of your places where you work, do you also work with the Salvation Army and other churches and things?
We do.
Like
We work with Salvation Army, Catholic Charities.
Okay, because that wasn't on your list. And
Yes, I'm sorry, but
No,
we
that's
are
okay.
on our list. Often we get referrals from all of our service agencies in the Glendale community for referring clients to us.
I really like the idea of the one in Glendale for veterans, and then the one that was the senior one.
Yes.
I think that's a really interesting idea to
Yes.
house seniors that are looking for senior housing with formerly homeless seniors.
Yes. And I think that's part of the integrated approach of kind of I don't want to use the word retraining, but if you have someone who's been homeless for years, just kind of integrating them back into the community. You know, there's learning how to be a good tenant, learning just even to pay your utility bills can be a challenge, because if you're living on the streets, you don't have to worry about those things.
Yes, they're all rental units, right?
In Glendale, our Housing Now program, we rent from private owners in the community, yes. And we also have affordable housing, which is housing that is built from
No, the
ground.
ones that you build, the projects that you build, they're rental, they're not for sale.
They're not for sale, no.
They're rental units. And the people who rent, do they have to have a job? How do they pay their rent if they're homeless, or they just
Some
rent a
peop-
place? Is it Section 8? How does the program work?
It is a mix. For our program, we're funded, in Glendale, the one that we have now is funded through SH, Supportive Housing Program, which some of our clients work, some of our clients have SSI or other benefits. For affordable housing developments, it's kind of a mix. It's some clients are homeless, have benefits, and others are just affordable housing for people with lower incomes who are employed.
The one in San Diego, is it built or it's upcoming?
Actually, the ground's opening soon. The ground opening for that is actually tomorrow.
It's
It's a big development in San Diego, yes.
Never seen a 14-story affordable housing project.
It will be the first one, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Did you have anything else? Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And what is next?
Item 3, commission staff comments.
I had a question more than anything else, and it's for Mr. Duran. I've been reading in the news press about the Rose float, and there was an article the other day, and I guess there was an organization that was involved that may no longer be involved. And also more related to kind of an update of that, but also what is the role going to be in the future for the Parks Commission as it relates to the Rose float?
Commissioner Raffogel,
No, actually, that was Commissioner Khan that opened up that can of worms.
President Raffogel, Commissioner Khan, the Glendale Rose Float Association for 27 years or longer had been the designated fundraising organization responsible for the Rose Float and for having a role in selecting the float design and naming the float and hosting receptions and other activities surrounding the Rose Float event. In recent years, and especially this last year, it had become increasingly difficult for them to reach their fundraising goal or target. And that fundraising target had been $50,000 that they would be able to contribute to the City of Glendale in order to offset and leverage the approximate $100,000 cost to build the float. They fell and knew that they were going to fall way short of that target this last calendar year. There were some questions about how the float design had been selected and then how the float had been named. So that coupled with no longer being able to raise the level of funding that they used to raise, the council began to have questions about the continued role of the Glendale Rose Float Association. The Glendale Rose Float Association, in December, their board voted and decided that they would disband and they would no longer have a formal designated role in being the organization that supports the Rose Float. We do plan to go to the City Council in approximately 1 month with a Rose Float follow-up report and provide alternatives for different direction that we can take for the 2013 float and the 2014 float. Of course, the 2014 float will be the 100-year anniversary of 100 years of consecutively of having the float in the parade. So if the council wants to do something more spectacular than usual that year, we need to know that probably now in order to be able to plan for something more spectacular than what we typically do. And of course, we have to discuss what new funding strategies the City Council would like to take for the 2013 float. And we need direction soon because we're very close to the time that we would normally be working with the float builder already on developing design concepts for next year's Rose Float. So that's the status.
And then as the Parks Commission, because they would bring
Yes.
this to us, what role would we be playing, or is that still in discussion?
Yeah. The Parks Commission, the Glendale Rose Float Association would select a float design and submit that float design to the commission. And the commission would approve the float design and make a recommendation to the City Council to approve the float design. And so that was pretty much the extent of the commission. What the City Council did decide in our last report to the Council on the Rose Float was that for the 2013 float, they did want a committee to be responsible for selecting the design and the name of the float, and this commission would have a representative on that committee. I think we proposed a committee comprised of 7 or 8 different individuals, including representation from a number of commissions. The Arts and Culture Commission is another one, this commission, and some staff. So that's still in the plan, and when that float design is selected and a name is recommended, it'll still come to this commission for review and approval and recommendation to the City Council.
Thank you very much.
I have a question in regards to the current situation with redevelopment agency and the state. We know that it's being dismantled, dissolved, or whatever you want to call it. Would that have any effect on our department and our programs that we have currently in place? Or
President Rafflegel, Commissioner Garapetian, there will probably be a ripple effect on most departments in the city of Glendale. Redevelopment funds were used to pay for direct services, meaning in some cases direct positions in other departments. There are redevelopment funds were also used to fund parks capital improvement projects, most notably the Griffith Manor project that was just completed this past summer, and the ARC were built with redevelopment funding. There are a couple of other projects. The Central Library Rehabilitation Project, which is in Central Park, was being funded with the redevelopment funds. It's questionable as to whether we're going to be able to do that project with the loss of the redevelopment funds. And our department was asked to do some co-project management on that project. So of course it may impact it may impact staffing. But we don't have a plan yet in terms of exactly what the impact is going to be. I think the city is still holding, as other cities up and down the state are still holding out hope that the state legislators or the governor or a combination between the two will realize what is at stake here and how difficult it would be to dismantle redevelopment in its entirety, and or realize that there are some components of redevelopment which do make a sense that we should keep, and maybe other components that we can do without. So we're holding out hopes that there will still be some legislation or new policy or new direction where we will be able to continue to have some semblance of redevelopment, whether it's called something different, whether it's called economic development program or whatever the case might be. So in the meantime, there have not been any formal plans developed to determine exactly how it will be impacting the city and the city's workforce. Such plans may be coming out within the next 2, 3, or 4 weeks. So we're we all have to stay tuned to see what develops.
Thank you.
On a lighter note, if you have a dog that gets along well with other dogs, the Glendale Parks and Open Space Foundation is having an event this Saturday, a dog walking event called Happy Tails on Happy Trails. And it's at Brand Park, and we meet at the Tea House, 9 o'clock to 11:30. It's good exercise. It's going up the mountain. You don't have to go, you can go just as far as you want. But we'd love to see you there. The foundation is making friends, so we hope to see you again. It's this Saturday, January 28th. He's got a slide up. I love GTV6.
Now, if somebody does not have a dog that they want to walk,
They can walk,
come.
yeah, come. You know, I
can
don't
hold
have
it
a
up
dog.
a leash,
I'm going to be
yeah.
there. So if you have 2 dogs, I'll walk one. So anyway, we'd love to see you there. This is an experiment. We'll see how it's going to go. But we have a lot of people who ask us about their dogs in parks. So it's a nice introduction to Brand Park. Hope to see you there.
Well, I want to, first of all, thank Commissioner Khan for taking care of the commission in my absence. I'm sure you did a fine job. And I was back in New York to be with family for Christmas and couldn't be here. And then also I wanted to report that in the last couple of months, I've been attending the art project meetings for the Riverwalk project, and we're having another meeting tomorrow, and we've got some pretty exciting stuff coming up, and I'm sure there will be a report in the next month or so. Staff? Anybody? All right. What is next?
Item 4, oral communications. I have no cards.
Nor do I.
Item 5, consent items. 5A, approval of the minutes of the Commission regular meeting held on November 21st, 2011.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, I'll take roll call. Commissioners Garpetian,
Yes.
Han,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Sharkey,
Yes.
President Rottvogel.
And I will abstain, as I was absent. And next.
Item 6, business agenda. 6A, reports for information only. At 1, mobile recreation program annual report.
Director Duran, or, okay.
Oh, it's Norma.
Good afternoon, President Rottvogel, members of the Commission, and department staff. My name is Norma Valles, Community Services Coordinator at Pacific Community Center. I'm happy to present the Mobile Recreation Annual Report for 2011. Prior to 2011, mobile recreation primarily consisted of the Park and Play program, but now it also includes 2 rental packages, Party on the Go and Glendale Rock's Portable Climbing Wall. Party on the Go is a rental package where 2 recreation leaders are hired to provide games and crafts for birthday parties or special events. The program uses the existing Park and Play staff, truck, and equipment on the weekends when requested for rental. The Glendale Rocks is a 26-foot portable climbing wall. And the standard package includes 2 trained employees to operate the wall, the safety equipment for up to 2 hours, and additional hours can be purchased. Oops. There we go. It's touchy. Both rental packages are available to public and private organizations within the city, limited within the city limits for special events. Here's information for the Park and Play for 2011. The Park and Play program is a free drop-in program which operates Monday through Friday from 2:45 to 4:45. 2 rec leaders drive the truck to a designated park within the city, set up and play games and crafts in a safe and supervised setting for children ages 5 through 12. These activities include crafts, games, sports, homework help, karaoke, and relays. The average monthly attendance for park locations was 234 children. The average attendance for Glendale Unified School District after-school programs was approximately 87 students once a month. The average attendance per special events was approximately 100 children. These special events occurred approximately once every month or so. These special events included Cruise Night, National Night Out, the Cesar Chavez commemorative event, Glendale Healthy Kids Health Fair, and City Park grand openings. In 2011, Park and Play made 225 park visits, 22 Glendale Unified School District visits, attended 12 special events, 6 summer day camp visits, and 14 private organization events. Some dates were canceled due to rain, mechanical problems, or schedule maintenance. The Party on the Go package is designed for children ages 5 through 12 and can include arts and crafts, sports, games, and specific themed activities for birthday parties. The basic Party on the Go package includes 2 recreation leaders for 2 hours and 6 games or activities for up to 12 children. The package was rented once this year. Over 20 inquiries were received requesting fee information, but some customers opted to rent the climbing wall for the same fees. A few customers requested fee discounts for the rental of a picnic shelter or indoor facility if we combined it with a rental package. So we currently do not have a party package combo fee established, so we would like to return to the Commission to present a combo party package fee proposal. The Glendale Rocks climbing wall was given, sorry. Oh, I think it's on auto. Sorry. In 2010, the Glendale Rocks climbing wall was issued fees for rental purposes. The fee covers the cost of staff, operations, and maintenance of the wall, trailer, and safety equipment. Here are some of the clients that we served in 2011 for the Glendale Rocks program. Glendale Unified School District, Glendale Healthy Kids, City Manager's Office, Glendale Police Department, local churches, Glendale Fire, YMCA, neighborhood associations, and PTA at the following events. Cruise Night, we attended a Navy Bon Voyage party, K-Night in the Park, Unity Fest, special events at Glendale Unified School District, park grand openings, National Night Out, Fire Service Day, an Easter event at local church, Bring Your Child to Work Day, PTA fundraisers, Winter Wonderland, and the Chavez commemorative event. Overall, the mobile recreation program continues to grow, and we look forward to 2012 events. If you're planning a party in 2012, please consider our programs. I can be reached at 818-548-3220, or you can email me at nvalles, that's NVALLES, @ci.glendale.ca.us. Thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Question.
A couple things, and I was trying to follow along as you were speaking. So Party on the Go was rented once,
Yes.
okay? And so we're looking at that and saying, we're going to now package it with something else?
More so, people were discouraged about renting the Party on the Go package when they saw how much it cost for the package, as well as the rental facilities for a picnic shelter within the city limits or using one of our facilities. So they were asking if there was any way to get a reduction in price for the picnic shelter or reduction in price for the combo package or the party package.
So when you combine it with something else, what are we going to be charged? I mean, is there a cost that you thought of that we would now start charging for the combo?
I haven't really researched it too much because that was something that we wanted to come back and present to the Commission with fees regarding covering the cost of the facility rental as well as covering our costs for having the party package at an event.
When you do that, and I think I can understand the reason to do that and how it makes sense, I think that you should also have a third component of that package or a third package that not only would include the Party on the Go, but also the climbing wall.
Yes.
So that you'd have 1, 2, or 3 packages or options.
Mr. President?
Yep.
A couple of quick questions. What are the prices right now individually, the Party on the Go and the
They
walk?
each cost on a standard rate is $300 for the first 2 hours
Okay.
and $75 for every hour, I'm sorry, $100 for every hour after that.
Okay.
And that's for standard rate. And for the nonprofit, it's $225 for the first 2 hours and $75 for every hour after that.
Okay. And can a nonprofit rent a rock, for example, and sell tickets in their event to raise funds? for
Many
them?
did. A lot of the school, the PTA groups reserved the wall, paid the standard $225 for 2 hours, and they charged approximately $3 to $5 per climb, or sold wristbands for unlimited climbs.
Okay. And as far as the private parties, how does that work? Can individuals, residents can rent this thing and take them to their homes, or if they have a space for it, or how does it work?
We haven't been able to, we've only used the climbing wall and the Party on the Go in park facilities, just because the climbing wall is 26 feet long, as well as another 20 feet for the vehicle that's hauling it. So we typically stick to the current park facilities within Glendale. And also private locations like churches, nonprofit locations, parking lots, places that can accommodate.
So if it's a birthday party, they can rent a place in a park close to their home
Yes.
and rent it from the city, basically. It's okay.
See where it would fit at your house, it probably wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't fit in my house, please. If you want to have a party, don't put it on me. I think if you advertise this more, there will be a lot more request or demand for it. And we've been there, we used it, our kids used it. It's a great outdoor event. So.
We did have a few inquiries from outside of the city for special events, such as the city of Santa Clarita did contact us. So that might be something we want to research to determine whether or not that's something we can do in the future to participate in bigger events that are not within city of Glendale.
Okay.
One other question I had for you, in terms of, I agree with Commissioner Garpetian, do we have a tie-in with some of the party stores? Or do we have some type of relationship where we're advertising through them? Because to me, that would make a lot of sense.
Not at this point, but we can definitely look into that.
Yeah,
That'd be a great opportunity for marketing purposes.
Okay, thanks.
Any questions?
Okay,
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
report. And what is next?
Item 6A2, Annual Report of Therapeutic Recreation.
President Ralph Vogel, members of the Commission, my name is John Malakian. I'm the Community Services Coordinator at Maple Park Community Center. I'm here today to present on the department's Therapeutic Recreation Program. So I'll go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me in the middle or at the end. A little background, the Therapeutic Recreation Program, which is better known as Club Maple, provides services to adults with developmental disabilities. All programs are designed to provide recreation, socialization, and educational opportunities. Staff members provide free drop-in activities which are age-appropriate and skill-level friendly and in a safe environment. The program background, we've been running Club Maple for a little over 23 years. Some of the operational information, it's every Thursday night at Maple Park from roughly 5:30 to 6 until 8:30. The clients show up between 5:30 and 6 normally. Staff members offer a variety of weekly activities, including arts and crafts, games, sports, dances, birthday celebrations, and other social interactive activities. Like this week, tomorrow night, we have bingo. So they really enjoy those types of activities. Unfortunately, with the last budget cut, we lost some of the money to go on field trips. However, the City of Glendale's Open Spaces and Parks Foundation appropriated $4,500 to the Club Maple program. So we were able to retrieve some of those field trips. We've already gone to Knott's Berry Farm, which was a blast. Last year, they took trips to a Dodger game. They also went to the Shrine Auditorium, and they visited, let's see, what else did they do? They visited the aquarium as well. So there's some pictures from Knott's Berry Farm from this year. This is us at the front. We had about 25, 30 clients show up to the event. It was really fun. We also added some educational speakers to come in and, inform the participants on different topics, whether it's the police department or the fire department. They come in to bring the K-9 unit. We had J.C. Volkman come in from Verdugo Hills Hospital and provide hygiene kits and give the clients some good information on health and safety and proper hygiene techniques. Recently, we had our Club Maple Halloween celebration. It was really fun. We had a contest for the scariest. We had. Give me 1 second. The categories were scariest, cutest, most original, and best homemade. The winners of the contest received pumpkins. They all really appreciated that, as you can see. We had a Club Maple holiday party on Thursday, December 22nd. That included dinner, dancing, and a gift exchange. So all the clients brought gifts, and then they pulled their names out of hats, and they all shared. We recently went to the LA Zoo. We were fortunate enough to discover that the Long Beach Aquarium has a therapeutic program day, which is actually this Saturday. So we had an opportunity to provide a free field trip to our clients. So we chose to go to the LA Zoo because it was close and convenient for us all, and we had a good time. We put this picture in to see if anybody can find the giraffe anywhere.
It's in the...
little camouflage for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. The yearly attendance, Club Maple's attendance rose by 120 participants from 2010 to 2011. The weekly attendance also went up by a couple of participants between 2010 and 2011, and actually over the last 3 or 4 months, those numbers have increased as well. We're bringing in about 35 or 40 clients. I think it's because we're at Maple Park and we offer so many additional activities with the basketball gym and the computer lab and the recreation room. The clients come in and they have so many places that they can go into and have a good time. So I think that the facility itself is really helping promote the program. We also run a program called Get Fit at Pacific Community Center. This is an additional program that's a part of the therapeutic programs. So Get Fit is a program designed to educate adults with developmental disabilities on how to start and maintain a healthy lifestyle through conditioning, exercise, and nutrition. Participants receive a weekly weigh-in, flexibility charting, nutrition tips, and a journal to chart their eating habits and daily exercise routines. Each week, weekly activity begins with stretching and conditioning. Weekly activities include hiking, soccer, softball, basketball, and any other sport you can think of. We're going to let them play pickleball, which is something new that we're trying. It's a low-intensity ping pong tennis variation, and it's something that I truly enjoy. I'm sure if you guys had a chance to see it, you would like it too. You don't work that hard, but it's pretty fun actually. And they do it at the YMCA, and I know they've been doing it at the Adult Recreation Center. I thought my participants would love it, and I think it's going to work out great. And the yearly attendance was 337. It's a little less than, well, a lot less than what we do at Club Maple, but it's not the same type of thing. It's just for healthy living. So the ones that choose to participate and are able to get rides to Pacific on Mondays, do so. And we are all Laker fans, I hope, in here. So I threw that in there for you guys. Okay. And just a quick brief rundown of some of the disabilities that our clients do have. Club Maple program has been providing services for 23 years, I already mentioned. Some of the disabilities are attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, Down syndrome, mental retardation, some basic learning disorders, difficulties noted along continuum of cognitive abilities, including adaptive, fine motor, perceptual motor, social, and language skills. Learning disabilities, which assumes normal cognitive abilities and refers specifically to problems in reading, arithmetic, and written expression. Before we go into questions, I brought a few clients, a couple of clients that mean a lot to the program, that mean a lot to me. I have a few certificates, and I also have a senior from Clark Magnet High School who is doing her senior project on Club Maple, and I wanted to recognize them because this is our once a year to do that. So let me go ahead and do that right now. The first person I'll bring up will be the first certificate I grab, which is Eddie Martinez. Eddie, come on up. Eddie, you want to tell them a little bit about why you enjoy Club Maple?
You know why I enjoy Club Maple because it helped me for benefits of our Club Maple, because we wouldn't have Club Maple if it wasn't for you guys. But I want to say thank you for the Club Maple, and it's been a lot of fun for every one of us. And I enjoy it. I love friends. I love everything about it. And there's nothing that no one can take it away from us, because we're a big union. We're a big union. and we love it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Congratulations.
Up next, we have Sumra Waleed. Come on up, Sumra.
Hi, my name is Samar Khalid, and I do love Club Maple because it teaches me how to get along with other people, how to talk to friends, how to do exercise, how to do different things every month. And I want Club Maple to keep going. I don't want you guys to take that away from us.
That's why we're here.
If you guys take that away, we'll stay home and be bored and not do nothing in life. So please think about it before you make a decision. Is there any questions?
No, but you won't have to worry about the people up here taking it away.
We're not going to take it away.
Thank you. Thank
Take a
you.
quick picture over here. Thank you. We have one more. We have Alyssa Matthew Joseph, who's a senior at Clark, who's doing her senior project on Club Maple. Alyssa, want to tell them about yourself?
So, good afternoon. My name is Alyssa Matthew Joseph, and I am a senior at Clark Magnet High School. I started volunteering at Club Maple from September of last year, mainly for field work for my culminating senior project. And my topic is on how effective recreational programs are on special need individuals as they transition into life as adults. And I plan to present an activity to the group involving arts and crafts because I found that they're very fond of being creative and enjoy the arts. And volunteering for the therapeutic program has helped me understand firsthand how the participants are affected by various activities, and it's helped me add a lot to my research. And not only has this experience contributed to my senior project, but also to my own life because it has helped me make new friends and understand my younger brother who has a learning disability. And I believe my final project will be both a senior level of achievement and a learning stretch for me because I will be able to gain the experience of working with these unique types of individuals. And I will be committed and I will better understand my brother's situation as well as persons who are in a more critical condition than him. And I hope to leave a memorable influence on Club Maple and its participants, and I'm grateful to them and John for allowing me to experience the achievement of growth and success with them. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's take a quick.
Before you sit down, have you thought about a college career and studying something that can help you in your future life and maybe...
I actually have. I'm looking into forensic science, becoming a pathologist, because I have this knack for forensic science, and I find it really interesting, the CIA and CSI stuff. So.
Great. Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Alyssa. Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Are you going to have the Valentine's dance? I see a little romance going on here.
There's definitely a romance behind me that I will let them figure out.
But I did go to the one Valentine's dance.
Yeah, unfortunately,
and I did sit out one dance.
Yeah, we have a Valentine's party that we do.
Okay.
It's not as elaborate as it used to be. We try to do an event for every season that we have and every event that comes up. So we'll have something small at Maple Park. Yeah, there'll be some hearts and some dancing and some dinner. She's going to make sure of it.
See, I knew it.
Any other question?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have
Commend
a
the work-
question.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Briefly, please tell us about the challenges of your budgeting. How much budget do you have? How much is it shortfall?
I'm just going to look at Jess before I say anything.
I mean, because this is a great program, and this board
It's a
has no
terrific
authority in canceling it or making it go forward. But what I wanted to know, and I think public would like to know, that as to what is the challenges that we have and what is it that you need to continue this program.
Well, fortunately, we do have a budget that helps us maintain a weekly activity, and we're very fortunate to get the appropriation from the Parks and Open Space Foundation. The excursions are such a big part of the program. So if every year we can find a way to retrieve just a little bit of money, I feel like the program will always go strong, including Get Fit, which has enough, in my opinion, budget to maintain the equipment, the supplies, the staffing. We always want to make sure we have enough people in place to run the program smoothly. It's very key. It is a bit of a challenge at times to deal with all the different different issues that are in front of us. But in general, I feel like the budget is fine. And again, the appropriation was a major add to what we were able to get done this year in particular.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Well, again, thank you very much, and the people up here, and I'm sure the council also supports the good work that you're doing and the foundation.
And the passion you have for your clients is priceless.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
Thank you. And what is next?
Item 6A3, Customer Service Office and Brand Studios Annual Permit Revenue Report.
Okay. Ferris.
President Rob Fogel, Commissioners, my name is Ross Ferris, Community Services Manager, Community Services and Parks Department. And Monique Herrera, who's the supervisor of the Customer Service Office, is ill today, so I'm filling in for her. And it's my privilege to talk to you about an office, an area that's kind of the grease that oils the wheel here. This office processes a major portion of the registrations and reservations that our department has to facilitate the contract class, lifelong learning program, and issue permits for picnics, photo shoots, and activities in the parks. The Customer Service Office was established in 1999, and it's staffed by one full-time customer service representative and 2 part-time customer service assistants. The office handles over 20,000 phone calls annually. The majority of them are in the busy season, between the 1st of May and the middle of November. It processes over 2,000 class registrations and 650 facility reservations, and it supports the entire department. It processes the funds for deposit for the skate park and the civic auditorium. It also takes reservations for 6 park and community services buildings, Joe Bridges, Griffith Manor, Dunsmore Community Services buildings, Brand Park, Casa Adobe, San Rafael Park, Palmer Park, Lower Shoal, Verdugo Park, and Verdugo Adobe Park. The most common types of reservations are birthday parties, picnics, and weddings. And of course, the Brand Friendship Garden is extremely popular. After each reservation, we call the client. After every single one, we do a survey. And we make sure that they're happy. And we ask them what we can do better. This has resulted in improved procedures by both the caretakers and the site hosts, improved signing. When we sign tables that are reserved, we put signs on the tables. And in many cases, just improved follow-up by our own office. The office makes a small profit, $13,000, a little over $13,000, and with the addition of Griffith Manor now, the new Griffith Manor Community Services building that we just opened, we anticipate bringing in more revenue. We announced 4 weeks ago, that the Griffith Manor facility was available to be reserved, and it is packed. We are extremely pleased. And the customers, the citizens who have rented the facility have glowing reviews of the facility, the location, and the amenities. We are creating a new facility brochure which will highlight our facilities and, of course, include the new Griffith Manor facility. I want to also discuss while I'm up here the relocation of the Brand Studios operation because of the closure of Brand Park, which will commence on April the 1st. Not Brand Park, Brand Library, which will commence on April the 1st. As you know, the Brand Library and Brand Studios will be renovated. It will begin April 1st and will be an 18-month project. We are going to relocate the functions of the Brand Studios to 3 facilities. The Chevy Chase Library will be the main relocation area. The Dunsmore Community Building and the Griffith Manor Community Building. By relocation, I mean the lifelong learning classes will be held at these different facilities, and in some cases, we will be able to rent them out. The actual move will begin on March 23rd. We hope to complete it in the next week. So by April the 1st, we'll be out of the studios. And in your packets, you see some flow charts. These indicate where the present Brand staff members will be working during the relocation. You also have a relocation task sheet, which we are in the process of implementing. We are getting terrific support from the library. I can't say how pleased we are. Cindy Cleary and her staff have been very, very terrific. We are projecting that we may lose a little revenue during this period, but not much. We're working very hard to maintain that. And as we go forth, we will keep you posted. The staff is very excited about this. The end result at the Brand Studios, there won't be much physical change, but we will get an improved lighting and air conditioning system, which is desperately needed, and some other improvements. I'm open to questions if you have them.
Any questions?
Yeah, my question, you kind of answered it, but my question was about the Brand Library and what's going to be done to it. It's just lighting and air conditioning, you mentioned?
At the Brand Studios, the library is going to undergo a complete renovation. Emile is much more informed about that than I am. The Brand Studios will receive a new electrical system, air conditioning improvements, and some other mild modifications. But for the most part, it's the library that's going to receive the major portion.
Okay. Maybe ask me later. Thank you.
Members of the Commission, if I may, Ross is absolutely right. The Brand Studios actually gets a major structural retrofit, and it's surprising, or we're happy to report that the Brand is actually seismically very safe, so it won't be undergoing any structural retrofit. Most of it will be historic preservation work to be done, and also interior reprogramming of capturing some of the initial historic essence of that house in terms of a reception area, in terms of future events, and reworking some of the circulation and the shelving of the interior space. There will be some minor landscape work to be done. Other than that, the lighting on the exterior is very limited, but overall, the results will be a brand new looking facility from the outside and the inside, ultimately.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cotton?
I had a question. I didn't really understand it. This is I guess this is some type of worksheet or something that was enclosed in the reports that showed like 5 different people, and then underneath, I guess, where they're going to be located.
Correct.
So for instance, on a Friday, I'm looking at, and I don't want to, there's a couple of the names, and you look underneath it, And some people have certain responsibilities, I guess, at a time, and other people do not. What does it mean underneath? I don't really
Well,
understand.
I'm looking at Friday. You have the Loli Villanueva on the left. She's going to be handling the fresh and loose class at the Chevy Chase Library.
Okay.
She will also handle the mixed media class there. There are no activities that day at the Tea House or Dunsmore. At Griffith Manor, Marcella will be handling the Master Artists series, and George Palacios at Glen Oaks will be handling I can't read it myself, the karate classes. If there are no activities in a facility, there's nothing going on there that day.
Okay, so they would just be sitting at that facility, is what you're saying?
No, they are not scheduled.
Okay.
In other words, these are, Commissioner Khan, these are part-time employees that work when we have events or when we have other administrative tasks. If there is nothing going on, we don't schedule them.
So if someone has something at 4:45, they come in to
Correct.
do right before then, and then they
Right.
do the class, and then they
That's
leave?
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I just was trying to figure out what this all meant. You
Yeah,
just
that's,
explained.
we take great pains to make sure that, one, the scheduling is correct so that all the events are covered. Number two, that the scheduling is correct so that we are maximizing the productivity of these individuals. And number three, so that each individual, we even out the hours so that everybody is treated equally.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question on the facility permit fees.
Yes.
You show the resident rate per hour. Can we assume that there's also a non-resident rate or a nonprofit rate or a commercial rate? So that if somebody from Burbank or Pasadena...
There is a non-resident rate. I don't know why we didn't put it in, yes.
Okay. No, I just wanted, and then there'd be a nonprofit rate like
Correct.
all of our... Okay.
Correct.
Great. I just wanted that clarification. Any other questions, comments? Thank you very
Okay,
much, Rob.
thank you.
What is next?
Item 6A4, monthly activity reports at A CDBG homeless programs.
President Raffogel, Commissioners, very briefly, we wanted to give you an update as to where we were, what stage we're in related to the development of the annual Community Development Block Grant Program. We have received 27 funding proposals in response to an RFP that was issued back in November. Of those 27 funding proposals, 23 were for social service programs submitted by either nonprofit organizations or city departments, and 4 of those funding proposals were for capital improvement projects by nonprofit organizations. Staff is in the process now of analyzing those proposals and preparing a one-page staff analysis, which will be mailed out to the agencies, and they will be given 1 week to respond to any questions or weaknesses that were identified regarding the proposal. And then we will be packaging those proposals and delivering proposal packets to the CDBG Advisory Committee on approximately February 3rd. And then on February 17th, the CDBG Advisory Committee will have an all-day meeting, and they will interview all of the applicants. And at the end of the interviews, they will deliberate and develop funding recommendations. Excuse me. Then that will be that will be for social services. That will be followed by a half day to review the capital improvement projects. And again, at the end of the interviews, they will deliberate and develop their funding recommendations. Those funding recommendations will be published in a newspaper. We will hold a public hearing and give the public an opportunity to comment on the list of funding proposals. and then that will be followed by submission of a report and the funding recommendations to the City Council for final approval. And by then, we're talking about probably first or second week in April that the Council will be giving approval to the funding recommendations. Now, late last week, we received some updated information from HUD with regard to the city's entitlements, so we need to make some adjustments to the funding that's available, but that doesn't change the planning process, so we're still on board with the planning process. And then, unless there's a question on the CDBG planning process.
No, on the planning process.
Okay.
I have a quick question. I see some of the programs that have no fundings available for them.
All that means is that they did not apply last year.
They did not apply last year. So if they didn't apply last year, they cannot apply this year? Is that the rule?
No,
No, this is the current funding fiscal year, and then this would be the request.
Okay, I got it. Okay. All right. My bad.
so for instance, the artificial turf,
Right. They didn't apply last year, but they applied this year. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I want to make a couple of quick comments on the homeless front. Are there any more questions related to the CDBG program?
Yeah, I did. Before someone or before an organization submits their funding request, is there a group sit down, if you will, where the city staff kind of gives them an overview or gives people who are submitting a funding request an overview prior to submitting that?
Yes, Commissioner Khan, that's a very good question. We do conduct two informational workshops. The first workshop is conducted about 1 week after the RFP is issued, and the second workshop is conducted 1 week before they are due into the city. And the purpose for those workshops is to walk through all of the requirements of the funding application and all of the attachments that are required, all of the pre-qualification guidelines, and then what some of the major requirements are after you're funded. And we also offer to provide any technical assistance in between those workshops where the agencies can call our staff to get further clarification on any part of the funding application.
The reason I asked that was, and I was surprised, in some of these organizations I belong to, so it's not picking out any of them, but we've been told very clearly that the funding has been reduced, both from the CDBG amount that's been allocated just in general. And when I look at the current funding and what's been allocated, and I look at the requested funding, it's almost as if that communication didn't take place, because everybody has increased their funding request significantly. And I didn't really get that.
Commissioner Khan, that happens every year. And I think it's an inherent strategy that most organizations utilize. They will submit funding proposals with what they perceive to be their actual cost for their program, pretty much knowing that they have very little chance of getting full funding, but would be satisfied with partial funding. And in most cases, the committee is only able to provide partial funding. But it doesn't prevent the organizations most of the time from going ahead and submitting what would be required for full funding for their program, even though in most cases it's common practice that the committee will never be able to fund most programs at their full funding levels.
I think a good example of that is, and this is an organization that I'm involved in, the multicultural program and ESL classes for GIR services. The current funding is $9,500. The request is $40,000. I can assure you that last year's request was also probably $40,000. And then through the committee process, it's cut down to, as Jess said, in last year it was cut down to $9,500. So it's just, that would be, the same every year. Now, just to talk about that just a little bit. If I'm reading the last column, last two entries correctly, we have a total request of roughly 2.1 million, but as of when this report was issued, we expected our funding to be 1.8 million. So we've got roughly 300,000, almost $400,000 shortfall.
Correct.
Okay. From what's being requested and what.
But that's only in the capital improvement, correct?
No, isn't that.
No, I'm looking at.
Oh.
Yeah, you're looking at capital improvements.
Okay,
If you're looking at everything.
And social services, the difference is 6,500. 654,000.
Right.
And that represents the challenge of the CDBG Advisory Committee, to be able to sift through all that to develop funding recommendations. And then
Better them than us.
And very quickly, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to point out very quickly, today is the point in time count, so we do have staff and volunteers out in the community as we speak, counting all the homeless persons in our community today. We do expect a lower count than the last couple of years. Last couple of years, the count has been about 424, 25, largely due to the regional homeless shelter, which we are not hosting this year, so the count will probably be about at least 100 less than what is typical, and that's taking place today. Also, as we have been reporting this year, speaking of the winter shelter program, we tried something different, and we got the county's approval to use the Armory for our own local winter shelter program that is not funded by the Armory, so we have more influence over how we design our local program. And that also allows us to target Glendale and Burbank residents, even though we would not turn away non-residents. And it's a local program that is funded by the city of Burbank and the city of Glendale, so we're not using any county funds. And Yvette Sanvelian, our homeless coordinator, has been invited to make a presentation to the LASA, which is the Joint Power Authority between LA City and LA County, to their Board of Commissioners, to talk about our program and how we are doing it as a model program, and maybe something that LASA will think about replicating next year or in the future year as a better way of dealing with the winter season homeless situation. So I think that's a pretty big deal, and I just wanted to note that.
That's great.
Any questions? Okay, what is next?
Item 6A4B, Park Services.
Gary.
President Raffo, Commissioners, my name is Gary Morello, Park Services Administrator. Usually at this time of the year, maintenance takes a back seat and projects come out, but with the winds and the rains, it didn't work out quite that way. We're still cleaning up debris from the storms. Thank goodness it did rain. I'd like to see a lot more of it, but it did rain and the irrigation work is put on hold, so we don't have to worry about that. But we are doing both tree trimming, tree removals, cleanups. Leaves can get stuck in the most unusual places, as well as branches. And we're also working on playgrounds. We're doing all the 5-bar, which is the fall surface material that we use. And we've installed approximately 300 to 400 cubic yards of it already in the playgrounds. It's a good time of the year to do it. Nobody's really in there using them right now, as well as doing maintenance checks on all the play equipment. So we're trying to get ready and get all that out of the way before spring does come. So when it does come and people are using the parks more often, they can be ready to go. We won't have to worry about fixing things and repairing stuff that we could have done in the winter time here. But other than that, it's just like I said, the grass is slowed down. It's all dormant, and the irrigation, if we can get some more rain, would be nice. But and we would do projects otherwise, but we're still cleaning up, and we'll probably continue to do that for the next maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, thank you.
I read something about, and maybe it doesn't apply to us, about trying to go after some funding because of the winds and that condition.
Yes.
Is this part of something where we would be able to go after those funds?
Yes, we have applied. They asked, we lost about 120 trees in the parks, and more damage and so on, and we did use some overtime on the weekends so we could get the parks open. We had several parks closed for a weekend because they just were so debris they couldn't even use them. So we've asked for, with the rest of the city, Public Works Department has used quite a bit of time and manpower, and we've got areas in the city that we've used that were open space that we've piled the debris because there was no place to take it.
Sure.
So we have to get rid of that too, and that's probably going to be an ongoing cost. Either rent a tub grinder or rent something like that and grind it all down into a pile the size of this room instead of the size of the city hall that it is right now.
Right.
But yeah, we are trying for that too.
Great. Thanks.
Any other questions? Great report. And what is next?
Item 6A4C, Recreation and Community Services.
And yes, Iris? Joanne? Anybody?
Yes, Joanne
Harris?
Vendito,
Bueller?
Community Services Manager.
Hi, I'm Joanne Vendito. I'm the Community Service Manager in charge of the sports section, citywide sports, and the sports complex. I believe the recreation report is focused on statistics with the customer service office and the civic auditorium, so if you have any questions, I can possibly answer, or Ross Ferris is here, who is the manager in charge of that particular project.
Any questions?
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow, and
Short-
I thought
short-
Gary's
I was-
report. I
I
thought
was
Gary's
short-
report was good.
I was shorter than Gary.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Okay, and I think CIP projects are next.
Yes, that's item 6A4D.
And that would be Mr. Tatevosian.
And my friend, thank you. I'm not sure if I can outdo my friends Joanne and Gary here, but we have had a very busy few months since the last time we reported to you. As you may have noticed, we've completed the improvements, the Phase 2 improvements at the Adult Recreation Center, our Central Park facility, with the installation of grass lawn as well as lighting and some ADA improvements. And the fence is going to be down by the end of this month, and it will be open to the public. The grass has set, and I think Gary's team is ready to take the fence down and let the public loose on the grass. We, as part of this effort, we're also relocating some of the bench seating that was on the ARC lower patio area to allow more of an interface between the field or the park area as well as the courtyard. We got council approval to proceed with our Brand Park Security Gate project, and I'm hoping that the construction of that project will coincide with the renovation of the Brand Library project. And you've seen the drawings. They are very in keeping with the historic nature of the facility. So I'm happy to report that we're proceeding with the preparation of the construction documents. We're also finishing the construction documents for the Maryland Mini Park, and we hope to go out to bid soon, hopefully by spring, for that project. President Raffogel mentioned the Riverwalk project. As you know, that's a Prop 84 grant-funded project. We sort of have no control over the funding and the pace of that project. We have an understanding with the wonderful consultant that has been selected to work on the site, and we're hoping that we proceed as we have in the past and try to finish as soon as possible with the phase 1. As President Raffogel indicated, we are, as part of the project, they are required to have a few art piece installations, and we're working very, very diligently with the consultant team and their well-chosen artists to really make an impact on the project. Once that selection has been done and the project has been nailed down, I think that the project is being called the Rivers Embrace, which sounds fascinating and very interesting, and I'm excited to report back to you once we have selected the committee has selected the art strategy. We are also proceeding with an RFQ for the car park as well as the Maple Park, both of which are one of them is CIP funded, and actually both of those will be CDBG funded projects. And we're excited to work with our CDBG staff to put the RFQ out and begin selecting a design team to proceed with those projects. That concludes my report, unless you have specific questions.
Are we doing, usually we do a grand opening for just about anything we do. So I'm assuming at some point that for the second phase, are we doing a grand opening or are we not?
For the ARC, I will have to ask my team on that. Perhaps we should. Perhaps that's the indication.
It's okay if we don't. It's just we seem
any
to do
reason
those.
is a good reason to celebrate these days.
He wants his picture taken.
Oh, yes.
We can arrange for that.
You want your name on the, you
Yeah,
want
on
a
the plaque.
second plaque?
I want the plaque.
Oh, he wants another
Yeah.
plaque. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Is there anything else? Before we adjourn, I just want to note that because of I think it's President's Day holiday, we will also have a special meeting next month. Also, it'll be Wednesday, February 22nd, 2012, 2:30 and in this room.
That's correct.
And is there anything else? Yes.
Yes, President Ruffalo, I just wanted to mention one of the reports to look forward to at our next meeting in February will be a report on ideas for generating revenues or at least recovering our costs or decreasing our expenses. This is a direction that we received from the Commission back in May, and so we have been having meetings and brainstorming different ideas, and so we will be reporting out on 10 ideas or projects that we've come up with just to get some initial feedback from the Commission. Then we'll go back and do a final feasibility analysis and come back with a report of projects that we think that we can implement to begin to further address our budget challenges.
Great.
Were they new and exciting ideas that you're going to come to us with?
Of course they are.
I can tell you.
Yes, you will find some very innovative and
Thank you.
thought-provoking.
All right. If there is nothing else, then we will adjourn. Thank you.